Everybody, we are back. Dr. Beard, joined by
Paul.
Took a few weeks off because we're working on some new projects that are going to help you. So stay tuned for those.
We're coming live to you from the bunker.
Here we have a wonderful
single wide trailer that we're staying in.
That was made, I think, in the late 60s.
We're happy for it. Our friend is putting us up. We're looking for a place out here, but we're staying here tonight, so that's where the beautiful paneling comes from.
Brian's Bunker.
So today we're going to go over the total gut job. I think a lot of people want to know what it is, and so that's what this podcast is about, is what the total gut job is and why we need it.
Yes. So the Total Gut Job is a program that Paul and I developed several years ago, and it was a program for our patients. And it was addressing primarily gut health, because any functional medicine practitioner worth their weight in gold is going to focus on gut health. And if your doctor isn't, then you need to go find another doctor. And the reason we focus on gut health so much is because it comprises a huge portion of your immune system. And when I say your gut health, I'm talking about the function of your GI tract and all the digestive processes, absorptive processes, immune processes, and the GI microbial inhabitants, or your GI microbiome. The bacteria that reside within your GI tract perform crucial duties to keep you healthy. And when they're out of balance, because of multiple different reasons that we'll go over, or your GI tract just isn't functioning like it should, you are going to have chronic health issues.
Yep.
Without a doubt. And I don't care what the name of it is, what itis it is. I don't care if it's psoriasis, eczema, depression, insomnia, autoimmune conditions, weight problems, joint pain. All of these problems have, as a core component, immune dysregulation. So to ignore your gut health would be a huge disservice.
Yep.
You have to address gut health to overcome chronic health issues.
But before we go into the specifics, let's do our intro song by the Hellroys, and we'll go over all the total gut job ad nauseum.
I don't take nothing that a doctor don't prescribe. I don't do no drugs, man. I don't do no drugs, man. I don't smoke no bud, man. I don't do no drugs, man. It angers up that blood, man, so I don't do no.
All right, so let's get to it. I don't want to bore you guys, and I want to get right into the meat of the matter. The Total Gut Job program is a 60-day program, and it's all about rehabbing your GI tract and its microbiome.
And identifying what foods are
problematic for you, which is very important when it comes to gut health. Because what I have seen in my practice, and even in my own life, is that food sensitivities and intolerances can cause a lot of chronic conditions and sequela throughout your life if they go unaddressed. And many people don't even realize that they have them until they're well into their 30s and 40s, and maybe not even then. And I know for me, and a lot of you already know this, I had fought with all kinds of problems throughout my life, and the root cause of most of that were food sensitivities and poor gut health because of other lifestyle choices I was making. And so not only are we going to be focusing on your diet and trying to pinpoint any potential foods that are problematic for you, we're also going to be addressing all of the lifestyle issues that directly impact your GI tract and thus your immune system.
One of the most common questions I get is, what's the perfect diet? And my answer always is, we need to find the perfect diet for you, because everyone is specific. What may be a good food for me may be problematic for Amy, and vice versa.
Right.
And that's based on genetics, your epigenetics, what you've been exposed to just recently, the integrity of your gut. These are all the things that tell you what foods are good for you and what you're not. And we want to keep as many foods in your diet as possible. One problem that most functional medicine clinics do is they eliminate too much. And this program is great at eliminating only the problematic ones and identifying those, and then keeping the rest of them in your diet.
And so as a main component of this program is an elimination and reintroduction diet, or as we also like to refer to it as a food sensitivity and intolerance assessment diet, because that's really what it's trying to do. But what makes our approach very different than most people is that we are rehabbing your GI tract and making it function better and getting those microbial inhabitants in balance before we start reintroducing the foods, because that is very, very important. You don't want to reintroduce foods onto a leaky gut or a gut that is permeable, because you're going to get bad data. So the first 30 days of this program is basically focusing on removing the foods that we know are most commonly problematic for people. That is eggs, wheat, gluten, corn, soy, legumes, nuts. Mm-hmm. Those are the most common things. Of course, you can have a problem with any food. I don't care what it is. You could have a specific issue with that food. But we're only going to focus on the most common ones, although there is room to include more if you have certain conditions.
It will provide you with a questionnaire that'll help assess if you need to also eliminate legumes, grains, nightshades. Nightshades is peppers, tomatoes, potatoes. It's a large food group that a lot of people just want to eliminate. It's like, no, we need to figure this out first.
Right. So the 60-day program is going to, it's all about rehabbing your GI tract and making it function better, thus making your immune system function better, thus decreasing inflammation and all those different itises. And basically removing the bad and putting in the good. Not just focusing on your diet, but focusing on all the lifestyle factors that we know greatly impact your health and your GI tract.
Examples would be sleep.
So we're going to be discussing sleep, chronic stress, physical activity, medications and toxins. What else is on
mental and emotional?
Mental and emotional issues, detoxification. There's lots of things that you need to understand, particularly the why, so that you at the end of this program, you're equipped with the knowledge to just go and run with it. And you don't need us anymore. And these are all things that any functional medicine practice is going to cover. Okay? They're always going to cover these things because they're so important when it comes to overcoming chronic disease. And we've put this into a program that we've spent a lot of time working on. Hannah, who is one of our health coaches, and me have spent a lot of time making educational videos that we hope aren't too boring. But we've kind of kept them short and to the point, and given you really what we think the major take-home points are. Okay, and so you'll be getting exposed to these videos throughout the program. You'll have access to a private Facebook page where you can. It's more of a community where we're all sharing things that we are encountering, recipe ideas and things like that. And it's also a way to get in touch with either me or Hannah, the health coach, if something comes up that's kind of simple that we can address. And then also you can have a little peace of mind knowing that should you get off track a little bit or problems arise, you have access to our health coaches, and they can quickly get you back on track. And so this is a first step for any functional medicine practice.
Or it should be.
And that's exactly what I was doing in my own practice. Is we always, lots of times, would go straight to this program to clear the smoke out of the room, because when you're doing everything wrong, or bits and pieces wrong, whether it's chronic stress, not sleeping well, over-exercising, taking lots of medications, eating poorly, you've got to correct those lifestyle issues before we know what's going on. And often when you do that, you don't need me. All right? You don't need to be spending hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on a functional medicine practitioner right off the bat if you're doing all these lifestyle things wrong.
That's why we call it self-care is the new health
Right.
care. This is what your primary care provider should have been doing. This is what the basis of all of our health care should be, but all we do is treat the symptom.
With pills.
This is the base that if we would do this for everyone in America, we could drastically reduce our healthcare costs, because most modern diseases are caused by the things...
Modern disease or modern lifestyle diseases.
Yes, and it's infuriating.
It's maddening that I was not taught this in medical school, and I had to go spend thousands of dollars to learn this.
and people are like, well, which patients should do this? This is what I'm saying, is that all of this is these lifestyle problems. It's weight issues. It's thyroid issues. It's psoriasis. It's anxiety.
It's sleep issues. It's whatever itis it is. Okay. Again, this most of our chronic conditions are conditions of immune dysregulation, and immune dysregulation. There's lots of things that cause that, and gut health is a big part of that.
Yep.
And a lot of us are walking around with really bad gut health.
Yep.
And we don't even know it because it often isn't expressed as GI symptoms. You don't have to have diarrhea or chronic reflux to have a food sensitivity or a bad gut. It could be expressed as joint pain.
Which is for me.
Gut permeability is often something that we see in a lot of patients who are making lots of poor lifestyle choices.
I mean, you were diagnosed with MS, fibromyalgia.
Not fibromyalgia.
Restless
leg syndrome, anxiety, acne, IBS, neuropathy. If you name it, I had it. Mm-hmm. And lo and behold, once I myself use the principles that I have put into this program, I no longer have any of those symptoms. So I am symptom-free, medication-free, and I am have a pretty high quality of life. Mm-hmm. And it was all achievable because of using this approach that I have that makes up this program.
It's an 8-week course that you will learn what you need to know for self-care. In addition to that, we provide the products you need in order to achieve that balance that you've now gotten off of. No matter what your condition or itis is, this is the first step. And
often the last step that you need. And so a lot of our patients complete the program, and non-patients, because now we're allowing non-patients access to this program. We were getting such great results, and I wanted more people to have access to this program that we were using. And we know that not everybody has the same pocketbook. And we also know that a lot of you have some trepidation about functional medicine because it's so kind of new and counterintuitive to what you've been exposed to with the pill for an ill approach of healthcare, which is not healthcare. And so we've taken that into consideration. And, my goal is basically to help as many people as I can. That's why I became a physician. I want to empower people, help them overcome their chronic issues and understand what got them to that place. And this program does that. So for what goes on in this 2-month program, all right? So the first 30 days is what we call the elimination portion of the plan. So we are eliminating the foods that are most commonly problematic for people. I think we've already said that, right?
Yeah, we went through them.
And so we're also rehabbing your GI tract at the same time, okay? Because that's very, very important prior to the second phase, which is the reintroduction phase. And our elimination and reinduction diet, the way we do it's very different than most people.
Well, the way we heal the gut is even different than most functional medicine practices because it's more thorough. It is, I can't imagine how many hours we put into it, but every one of these products is related to the other, where they all are working together to remove the bad things from your gut replace it with the good things, and get you on the right track. So when we introduce the foods, you'll have good results and you can find out what's going on. Most people make the mistake of they do like a Whole30, which is missing a whole lot. That's not elimination reintroduction. You need to eliminate all the antagonistic foods, and we help you determine them. There's questionnaires that if you need to reduce, get rid of grains and legumes and nightshades also, we'll help you determine that. The core group, the gluten, the shellfish,
the corn, the soy, and all that.
Those are we need to test for everyone. But when we introduce them also, we do things very differently. But our gut rehab is so different because we're not only it's not just throwing some probiotics at it. The removal process is extensive. We're attacking the candida, we're attacking the bad bacteria, we're attacking
possible SIBO or small intestinal bacterial overgrowth.
Biofilm issues. These are all addressed because these are all things that can be wrong with your GI tract, and we meticulously attack each of those with these products that are all interrelated. I mean, there are 11 different products. If you had to go purchase them all separately, just our cost would be, our program is $425. The list price for these with us is $465. But if you had to buy them individually from a supplement store, you're looking at over $800 because the shake that Amy developed has so many different components in it that are therapeutic. It's a meal replacement for 30 days, but it's also a therapeutic shake that is removing bad things. It's replacing good things. I mean, it's like you said, it's therapeutic. It's not just a protein shake or a meal replacement. It is medicinal, and it's doing really good things for your gut health. And lots of people choose to stay on them after the program, just to maintain what they have and to ensure that they're giving their GI tract what it needs on a regular basis. I mean, we use it every day. We were going to shoot the video explaining each one of the products, but it ran over an hour because it gets complicated. But this is Amy as a physician, as a dietitian, and as a functional medicine specialist. And someone who has been through it, just like you, with all kinds of chronic issues and getting no results and only getting worse. And then using these principles that I use to help myself, you can do the same thing. Yeah, I do want to go just a little bit of the products because the shake is so special. I mean, let's go over some of them. Yeah, the shake itself, it's not just a meal replacement. I look at other doctors' shakes that they just repackage. They just put their private label on it. We actually have this made for us. And it's coconut milk based, but we did that because it has caprylic acid in it, which helps get rid of candida. It has a therapeutic dose of 5 grams of L-glutamine, which is helping repair your gut lining. It has shilajit, which is a fulvic and humic acid that help get rid of glyphosates in your body. It has Ceylon cinnamon, which helps with antimicrobial properties to get rid of the bad bacteria. Your blood sugar regulation. It has biofilm components as well as some of the other products has, which a biofilm, in a nutshell, is something that most doctors... Don't get too off in the weeds on that. Well, no one ever addresses it, and it's super important. A biofilm, the easiest way to explain it is don't brush your teeth tonight. In the morning, that film, that's the beginning of a biofilm. You let that continue in your gut for years. It will hide all kinds of stuff there, and those things can be directly causing immune dysregulation. And it's hidden, and you can't get to it. It's a pathogenic safe house. Yes. It's the reason Lyme's disease is so prevalent. You can't get rid of it because doctors don't address the biofilm. Right. These are all important things. C. diff is another one that often likes to hide out under biofilms. Your multivitamin should be mentioned because, again, this is one that she has compounded for you. Yeah, our multivitamin is basically a 4-in-1. And I saw lots of practitioners. They would sell all these individual products, probably because they can make more money that way. But I was like, that's silly. Why can't we just combine it in one? Everybody needs, stage 1 adrenal support, probably, mitochondrial support and immune support, and a little bit of detox support, along with all the multivitamin, all the different vitamins and nutrients. What it is, most companies are packaging them to make you buy other items. Right. Well, I just put it all together. Yeah, we take it both. Yeah, it's super comprehensive. It's everything you need as far as a multivitamin and mineral. It's nutrients, people. It's all about getting the nutrients into your body so that your body can start functioning like it needs to. All right? So we've got the multivitamin. We provide digestive enzymes that you will need to take, and I find that most people, when they initially come to see us, need them.
for lots of different reasons. Poor diets is one, but one is also stress. Chronic stress will do a number on your digestive enzymes, and when they aren't there like they should be, you don't digest your food well, and so you're not going to be able to absorb your nutrients. And then you're also providing some food for bacteria to kind of feed on that normally they wouldn't. You don't want a lot of undigested food in your GI tract. That's going to set you up for a lot of inflammation and then everything that ensues from that. So digestive enzymes are provided and are important especially for the first 30 days.
Well, it's part of the reintroduction also.
And also the reintroduction.
And the probiotics, the omega-3, I mean, these are some of the usual suspects that other functional medicine doctors might do, but they're not our detox formula that we provide during this, because the first 30 days is an elimination, but the last 10 days of that, the days 21 through 30, is actually a detox, which also improves your gut.
A mild one.
It's a mild one.
It's not a major detox, but it is a mild one. It's providing phase 1 and phase 2 detox nutrients that your liver needs to detox like it should. Most of us aren't detoxing like we should. Our bodies are overburdened by all these toxins that we're exposing ourselves to, and we're not giving our bodies the nutrients it needs to handle that. So the detox phase is one where we're really just throwing all the nutrients that are needed so that you start detoxing better. And a lot of patients will say that they really notice some changes during that 10 days, that they sort of feeling really better. And that to me is a sign that perhaps this is a patient that needs to be on an extended detox, perhaps after they have completed the program.
It's therapeutic as well as diagnostic.
Right. So and that's another program that we're working on right now for a lot of you who have completed this and want to continue to improve your health. Yep. And so a comprehensive detox program.
So these 30 days, the first 30 days, we're really rehabbing the gut, removing all the bad. There's a product we have included that's called Biome Balance. It's clove oil, oregano oil, and thyme oil. These all attack different bacteria and different pathogens. As I mentioned before, the shake has items that attack different pathogens. The shake has items that help heal your gut. The enzymes, the probiotic, help heal your gut. The fiber that we provide help heal the gut. I mean, and every one of these has a synergistic effect. So as you put these together, at the end of this 30 days, you have a GI tract that's going to be in the shape that it needs to be to start reintroducing foods to tell once and for all if they're an issue. Most of you feel so bad you have no idea if a food is antagonistic because you always feel like crap. I hate saying that, but that's how I was until I did this.
And you don't, and to know if a food is an issue for you, first of all, you have to reintroduce that food on a gut that is no longer leaky, and that's what we hope to achieve in the first 30 days. And you have to allow yourself 72 hours to track any symptoms that might develop. It can take that long for your body to express any inflammation or immune dysregulation symptoms that might occur from you eating that food. And so if you're just eating all of it, if you reintroduce everything at once, you'll never know what happened. So we have a very strategic way that we reintroduce food so that you will know that food caused me a problem.
Right. And you don't want to throw out, another thing that we do very different than even functional medicine doctors is that when we reintroduce the foods, we look at the subcomponents. Milk is not just
dairy.
Dairy is not just one food. It's whey, which is ricotta cheese and other.
Whey is a component. Casein is another component that people have trouble with. Lactose is a milk sugar that a lot of people have problems with. So we're trying to identify the specific things that are problematic within the dairy category without throwing all of it out, but maybe just certain products within that dairy.
Or certain preparation. A lot of people who have trouble with dairy can handle yogurt or kefir because it's been fermented. It helps with that. Some people can handle a hard cheese because it's mainly casein and has lots of enzymes, but with a soft cheese that has more whey in it, they don't do well. So we don't want, or butter. Butter's mainly fat, but there's a small component of dairy. I don't want you to throw out butter unless you absolutely have to. It'd be silly because it's so healthy.
But some people do, and I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Some people do have to just get rid of dairy.
Same thing with wheat. Understanding if you have a wheat intolerance does not mean going to eat a slice of Wonder Bread. That's junk. That's processed crap.
Yeah.
And most of our grains in this country are GMO, and a lot of people have trouble with the GMO portion, genetically modified portion, as opposed to that if it was European wheat that's non-GMO,
Right.
and then if you sourdough it, which is a fermentation process, well, lo and behold, someone can say they're wheat intolerant, but they can eat sourdough bread.
Right. So it's a quality issue and a preparation issue. And those are things we also address and make sure you understand.
Yeah, nightshades is a big product. It's potatoes, it's tomatoes, it's peppers. I don't want throwing all those out, and you need to understand, is it a preparation?
Why? You need to understand why some of these certain foods are problematic. And when you understand the why, then you can make better decisions, and you don't have to throw out entire food groups that get labeled as bad.
Because more often than not, it's a sourcing or a preparation issue.
And not really a
food issue.
A genetically problematic issue.
And we're going to help you determine all of that.
Right. But it's very important to determine food sensitivities and intolerances, because if they're not addressed, you're always going to have poor gut health.
Yeah.
Always.
I also just want to go back and re-stress that the number of products that we include, how important they are, that we're charging less for this program than the retail cost of our products. All the information is free.
And there's a lot of information.
It's an 8-week course to teach you what you need to know.
And it's not just about diet. We go over all the lifestyle issues that are contributing to your health problems and impacting your gut health in ways you probably have no idea about.
When you exit this program, you will know what the perfect diet is for you. You will know how to manage all the items in your life that contribute to bad health. Whether you're successful or that will be determined you. Because managing stress is a big issue. It's tough.
But we go over tips and how you can do it, and a lot of people on the private Facebook page share their success stories and where they're going wrong, and everybody supporting each other, and it's really a nice thing to see.
And people don't even understand sleep. It's like, sleep does not mean when you're laying in your bed.
And it's a lot more than avoiding caffeine at night, or there's so many other things that our health coaches, Hannah and I, have done a really good job of explaining what you need to do. This is just an example about sleep, how to improve it, the things that could be contributing to poor sleep. You're going to walk away with a really good foundation of health and what is of all the things that contribute to optimal health, and probably a lot better idea than your own doctor.
Yes, sad as that is.
You can probably teach your doctor a lot of things if they're willing to listen.
And that's why self-care is so important.
Yes.
Because if you're not doing these basics, you'll never be healthy.
Your health, you are responsible for your health. Nobody else. Only you. All right? And so you need to equip yourself with the knowledge and understanding of how your body works and what is contributing to your problems. And when you understand that, you don't have to go to the doctor so much anymore.
It's night and day. People, they just cannot get past focusing on their itis. And once you get
the pill for that itis.
Once you get the knowledge of what's going on, you realize that psoriasis, that pill you're taking for the psoriasis is not doing anything. You step back, you're like, oh, it's coming from here because I'm doing these things, or I'm not. This other thing is occurring. Well, it's because I wasn't eating this and I was doing this,
or I was deficient in this, or I was exposing my body to this toxin on a regular basis and it was doing this. So there's again lots of things are contribute to chronic illness and poor gut health. And this program, I think, does a wonderful job at addressing all of those things. We get good results with this program.
It's sad if you think that, and I could relate this to anything, but the more you know about yourself, the less you're going to need your doctor, and the better your doctor can help you.
Right. Yes. And you're only going to the doctor when you absolutely need to. Some type of acute issue has arisen.
Doctor, I'm doing everything right, but I have this. Oh, okay, that's when Amy's shines.
Right.
Because if you've eliminated all these common suspects, whatever remains is easy to identify.
Right. Because there are a few patients who will complete the program and all of their problems have not resolved. Okay. But most of the time they've gotten better, they've just not resolved. And so all is not lost. You have made a critical first step in clearing the smoke and helping out the clinician figure out what's going on. Because any functional medicine doctor is going to have you address these things from the get-go. You don't need to do all the expensive testing up front. Why would you do that? I know we're going to see all kinds of messed up stuff on your lab work. I expect that, when you're doing everything wrong.
Yep.
And so this program helps you avoid a lot of the unnecessary costs that are associated with a lot of functional medicine practices, because they always want to test, and these tests are expensive and often unnecessary, especially from the get-go.
We had a wonderful functional medicine doctor who worked for us for a while, and she went on to something of her own. We would love to have kept her, but she came from Scottsdale, Arizona, so it was a very wealthy environment, and she was caught up in that functional medicine mindset of they throw a lot of testing, because in Scottsdale, $3,000, $5,000, no big deal.
Yeah.
Arkansas, that's
big deal.
Big deal.
And for most people, it's a big deal.
And then I remember working with her the first few weeks. She put together a list of supplements that she wanted for her patient. It was over $1,000. And I said, hey, look at what we have in our total gut job. And she goes, you have everything included here plus more than I was going to do for $1,000. I said, I know. Amy put these things together because it's usually these items that we need. And so she's included everything. And by compounding it herself, it's very economical. Mm-hmm. So the $425, which is discounted off the $465, really I should be saying is $425 instead of $1,000, because of all the items you'd have to buy that you've included in all your products. And I'm very proud of what you've done, because you're trying to make a modest profit. I look at some functional medicine as like, wow, this is not a service to our...
It makes us look bad.
Yeah.
And that's a big complaint. And because I see, and a lot of patients will say, that they may have worked with somebody who said they were a functional medicine doctor, but they really weren't. But they just, threw out a bunch of supplements at them and called it functional medicine. And they were spending over $1,000 a month on supplements, plus, the money it takes to see the practitioner.
Plus the testing.
And I was like, this is so not necessary.
Yeah, this is
so that's my approach, and and I'm not going to bash on everybody does it the way they want to do it. I have just found, after doing this now for several years, is that a lot of it is unnecessary. Mm-hmm. So I don't like to do what's not necessary.
It's the least expensive, most cost-effective way of healing your body, and that's why we.
And there is a time for testing, and if you want to test and you have the money for it, hey, let's go for it. If you want to do that, sometimes there's tests that I like to do on myself occasionally too, just because I like to see where I'm at and what progress I'm making or I'm not making.
Well, we did a study on this one time. We did a patient who was very persistent came in, so we did a stool study on them, which shows the entire gut biome. The stool studies are great, and then we did the test again after we'd completed all this. Had we gone on the pathway of that first test, we would have gone off in a different direction than where we were after this test, because it cleared the smoke out of the room and allowed you to hone in on what was really important. And I thought that was a really profound statement, that test, it's better to test once you've corrected all the major...
The lifestyle things.
The lifestyle. Then when you test, you're really getting good results, because it's going to change between day 1 and day 60 when you test with us.
If you're taking ibuprofen and drinking Diet Cokes and your stress is out of control and you're not sleeping and
you're eating poorly,
you're eating out and eating fast food, why do I need to test you? I know it's going to be bad, but it's not going to change what I'm going to want you to do. I'm going to want you to clean all that stuff up. Mm-hmm. All right? And then after you do that and you've done it for a while and you start feeling better, and then you don't need to test.
And if you do test...
Unless you absolutely want to.
But then if you do test that point, it'll be very, very glaring of what is left.
Right.
Because it's not showing all the plethora of everything is wrong.
Right.
All right.
So I think we've done a good job of covering it pretty much.
Yep.
And what we needed to cover.
Yep.
Anything else we're leaving out that you can think of?
No, just to summarize it, it's different than any other elimination reintroduction you may have done. It's the most cost-effective one you would have ever done. And we provide support that's unparalleled, and then all the information that is necessary to heal yourself, and as far as the basics, we provide for free.
Right.
It is a excellent program. For $425, there's nothing like it.
Basically, I'm giving you access to me without all the costs associated with seeing me. It really comes down to that. And all right, so if you want to know more information about it, you can go to the website amybeardmd.com and click on Amy's Total Gut Job. And on that page, you can read all about it. There's a video there that you can watch. It's short and sweet. I encourage you to do that. If you have questions, you can always reach out to us, and we can address any of your concerns and your questions, and make sure that this is a good fit for you. All right. The last thing we want you to do is to go into this with a lot of trepidation, because we want you to be successful and we want you to stick with it. Because $425 is still a lot of money, and we want to make sure that you're ready for it.
And don't do it until you're not going to do it when you're vacationing. You're not going to do it when school's starting with the kids. Choose a period of time where you can concentrate and have the time to focus on yourself and do this once and do it right.
Don't do it during Thanksgiving holiday, okay?
I'm going on a cruise. No, that's probably not the time
to do it.
And I want you, when you go to the webpage, the amybeardmd.com, when you go to the Total Gut Job, what I think is the most important takeaway, everyone, I know you've listened to us, you're still going to scroll through and try to find your condition. Because people, for some reason, focus, I'm a psoriasis patient, or I'm an arthritis patient, or I'm a weight loss patient. It explains that those are
just names given to your symptoms.
Yep.
And we all express symptoms differently, even when they have the same root cause.
Yep. The same root cause can cause weight gain, or it can cause psoriasis, or it can cause joint pain.
Yep.
You choose, but you still need to treat down here in order to solve them. And traditional medicine has taught you to think the opposite. They want you to be a label, you become that label, and then they treat that label.
With this pharmaceutical. No matter what got you there, it's the same treatment.
And they just are not going to listen to you.
Anyway, let's not go off on that.
Just want to bound it, because it makes me so angry about the pill for an illness, how bad it is.
I know. I just can't even believe we call it healthcare, people.
And
I really don't. Throwing pharmaceuticals at your symptoms is not healthcare, all right? It is sick care.
Yep, and you are much more than the label they've given you on that condition. Don't fall into that trap.
No, please don't. All right. Okay, I think we have covered everything we need to. Again, please reach out to us if you have questions or concerns, and we appreciate your time, and we'll be
back with more information.
Back with more information next week.
All right.
I hope, maybe from the bunker, maybe not.
All right, we'll see you soon.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
I don't take nothing that a doctor don't prescribe. I don't do no drugs, man.